Good morning. I have Tyler Braun, Senior Financial Advisor, here with me today. Thank you for joining me. So, Tyler, you meet with a lot of prospects, you meet with a lot of clients, okay? I want to talk about when you're going to meet with someone the very first time, regardless, financial advisor, dentist, whoever, there is some level of anxiety or some level of questioning. What are the top 3 questions or concerns that someone has when they come and talk to you?
That's a great question. Really, if I think further into detail, it comes down to, number one, how can we help?
Right?
Or they have some complexity they need help with and direction on.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, how do I stack up against others or my peers? And
right, we live in the comparison world.
Correct, and we use a lot of people as just a comparison or a stepping stone as to, I feel like I should be here, where do I stack up on that?
Mm-hmm.
And then number 3 is how much does it cost, right? So what are the costs associated with creating this clarity or this plan?
Okay, and speaking of cost, fees, anything of that nature, you can't watch the news nowadays, or you really can't watch any sort of commercial with something coming up in your face saying 0 fees, 0 trading fees, anything of that nature.
Yeah.
My question is, when these companies say 0 trading fees or 0 fees associated, how are they actually making money? That's the first thing that I'm like.
That's a great question, because we do get that a lot. And you look at it and you say, how can a company charge nothing and still be in business?
Right.
They're for-profit entities. It's just like hidden costs with insurance companies, for example, right? An insurance company is a very profitable entity. They're going to make their money in one way or another.
Right.
So it's the same way. So you think of a company that might say 0 trading fees. Well, anytime they're charging you nothing for it, a lot of times there's a stipulation where they'll limit the amount of trades that you get inside of that account.
Oh, okay.
If they're not limiting that and they're giving you unlimited access, it's basically an open platform. But inside of that platform, you now have access to their internal mutual funds, their ETFs, etc. So I'm just going to use a blanket, generic example. Let's say that you're utilizing a 0 trading platform that's sponsored by a specific company, and they're going to bombard you with advertisements to use their mutual fund or their platform regarding whatever that trading cost or whatever that ETF or mutual fund is, and there's internal costs embedded in that, and they're going to reap the reward from that. In addition to it, they have your information.
Of course.
Right? So data is the next boom.
Right.
So data is worth millions and billions to these companies. They now have your information that they can market to you. They can sell that information. They can utilize that information for decisions for their strategic purposes and their benefit going forward. So they also use it from that regard. What you'll also find is you're a marketing tool. Right? So you're paying nothing now as you're building your net worth, but they can see the account totals. So in the future, they want you to work with their software, their financial planner, their financial advisor, and they're going to market to that to get additional add-ons. They'll also work with other companies where they can join forces together, trade lists, trade assets, so on and so forth, in order to utilize that even further. So there's embedded costs, hidden costs behind it. That 0 fee platform is basically a hook to get you on board, and then from there they can make their internal expenses and their underlying money off of your data and so forth.
Wow. Okay. So well, that's interesting.
That's a long answer to a short question.
That's okay. That's interesting to bring research into it, right? Because research is so powerful. Data is so powerful. That's really interesting. So it's almost as if data is more powerful than your true assets at times.
In a way, and that's just on that scope. That's just to get it under that umbrella. I mean, if you look at it, they know that when you're there, you become sticky, and if you're utilizing an IRA there, you may open a Roth with them. Eventually, you're going to have a 401k that you may want to roll over. So there's all these different ways to get their foot in the door in order to open up future opportunity for you. So when I'm sitting down with the client, and we look at that and we do a comparison, it's really cost versus value.
Okay.
It's what value add are you getting for the cost? And I find that many clients don't find it, they don't have a problem paying for something as long as they're getting a value for what they're paying for.
Obviously, yeah.
And, if you're paying nothing, what is your relative value you expect to get?
Nothing,
right? So for certain people, a do-it-yourself investor where you want to go buy Apple stock and just hold it forever, right? It may make sense to open that account, have that platform, and pay no cost to purchase it, right? But if you're looking for that general direction of, I need a plan, I need something, I need to know where I am, I need to know where I need to be and what steps I need to take along the way, have an accountability partner, etc., that's where those companies will start to drip on an advisor and so forth, and that's truly how they make their money off of that.
Okay. And so moving on to the first two questions that you also talked about as well, what's the value that you show? I'm not asking you to give away our secret sauce.
Sure.
But what's the value that you show in that first initial meeting to them?
Well, number one is somebody to listen to. So
Okay.
I can listen to their situation, and I can lay it out in all these complex questions or scenarios that they might be going through, and just lay it out in a very clean and concise manner to make sure I fully understand where they're at. And then just having the experience of done it before. I've seen other people go through similar things, and being here for roughly a 10-year period now, I've seen lots and lots of clients go through these different phases, so I see commonalities that are created.
Right, okay.
So we can start to pick holes in the inefficiencies that are there. So the true value add is just laying everything out, seeing where you are, and now having a conversation on where you want to go. And that's really hard for people to get, for lack of a better term, financially naked in front of somebody and just say, this is where I'm at, this is everything I have, am I okay?
Right.
And then start having that difficult conversation going forward. And a lot of times they find out it's not difficult at all. It's actually very fun to think about the future and what they want to do, and then building a plan to get there.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting. All right, well, thank you. So that's actually, we get that a lot, right? When people are inquiring online or just talking in the streets, they're, what am I going to get when I meet with someone or a financial advisor? So it's really breaking down that barrier to show that we're, here just to listen to you. To put a little ploy in, I sat in one of your meetings once and someone said, no one's ever explained it to me like that before. They were just staring at the board. Oh. So anyways, okay, so thank you so much. I appreciate that. You answered some really good questions, right? What's the value that you bring when meeting with the person the very first time, right? And then what does it mean when they say zero fees? That's very insightful, and it's the media's pushing it in front of us, and to actually have a comprehensive understanding of it is really important. So thank you, Tyler.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you
you.
for having me.